Hey y'all, it's Alec and Cindy. It's day 4 of traveling. So what does that make it? Day 6 since we've been on the road. So we're trying to speed things up a little bit. I tell you, campgrounds are getting full and it's harder to make travel plans. So Cindy just made reservations for Kerrville, Texas. Kerrville, KOA. We're going to go see her sister. I thought we were closer. We're 800 miles away, so we got to cover 800 miles the next 2 days. So we're going to be driving hard, 400 miles a day. And then the mileage that we saved, I thought Kerrville and Rockport were closer or more on the same trajectory, but so we're going to be back up to over 2,000 miles for this trip. So whatever we saved by not going to Denver, Colorado, we are adding back in to go to Kerrville, Texas. So we left Walmart, and we had a very good night.
Yeah, not bad at all.
And one thing I liked about that Walmart in Gallup, New Mexico, is they had security roaming the parking lot. Now, we did have one person come up as I was coming out with the dogs. There was a homeless guy walking up to the camper, trying to sell, I don't know, trinkets. Look like a saber-tooth tiger necklace or something. I told him we weren't interested. I let security know that he was working the park. But you can tell we're still in New Mexico with these roads. Waved down security. Security made him move on. Security said they would keep an eye on our Jeep and rig for us while we were sleeping, which I thought was awesome. I did do a courtesy check, make sure all the bay doors were locked and the Jeep was locked, and woke up this morning and everything was fine. So we're on 40 East, and we're going to be on here for another 187 miles. So,
Doing more interstate traveling today, right?
yeah, we're doing a good bit of interstate travel today. So there's not going to be as much to show you. I'm going to flip the camera around real. You can see it's just flat and barren. So we'll come back in a little while and check in. All right, if I read the sign, yep, it says Continental Divide, 1/2 mile. So we're crossing over the Rockies. We've been going uphill. We're at almost 7,300 feet. So I thought, bring you in for the big Continental Divide. Unless that's just the name of the street. I don't know. I know the Continental Divide should be through here somewhere.
No, I think this is it.
Cindy says this is it. So it's got to be it.
It's not that climatic.
Yeah, it's not that climatic. It's not like when we were going through South Dakota and we were hanging off the side of a mountain on 90 in the sleet and snow. It's a balmy 62. Now, New Mexico, really? It says mowing next 2 miles. There ain't much grass here. They're cutting down little sage bushes and stuff. Yep, Continental Divide sign was right there. Now you can say you have crossed the Continental Divide. So the day that we have to drive the most miles, we run into road construction. I do applaud New Mexico for actually doing something to the roads. I wish they would have checked with me first, got my travel schedule. But so here we are, traffic delay, 26 miles an hour. We'll be back in a little bit, probably in the same location. All right, we're just outside of Albuquerque, and we're down to half a tank of gas. So Cindy has found us a Flying J with RV lanes. Now, I haven't filmed much of the ride through New Mexico today because it's pretty much been boring. The roads have been terrible. We're actually on some fresh pavement here, but this has not been the normal. This is the exception. And I will have to say, you know, we've driven through most of the states. We've stayed camped in 14 different states over the last 5 years. And I mean, I can look over the side. I've never seen so much trash on the side of the road. Never. It's just like, do the people in New Mexico, they just don't care?
California was that way.
California was bad too, but not like this.
At least here you don't have tent cities.
Yeah, California had tent cities everywhere. We worked in Santa Cruz.
So did you look to see which way it was?
It's right over here.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn left on 98th Street Northwest.
Here's the Flying J coming right up here. A lot of trucks.
He almost seemed stopped. Is there a truck in front of him?
Yeah, there's 3 trucks.
No.
All right, here we are at the Flying J. Look at that price, $354.9. Can you believe that? We put in 36.6 gallons for $130. So, okay, we'll go figure out how much miles the gallon we got, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, we cleared the pump. It's nice to be able to fill up. So I figured out the what you have to do at Flying J's and Pilots, because they're both owned by the same company, is that you have to go inside and let them run your card inside. And so I told them to set the limit at 150. So they turned on the pump and did a hold on the card for $150. And then this place is tight. And then I was able to pump and fill up, and I put $130 in, and then I was able to go back out and I'll go back inside and get my receipt. So I am just dumbfounded. I just ran the mileage. Now, you saw on so far today, we have crossed the Continental Divide. Seems like we've been more downhill than uphill today. And so I got 7.29 miles to the gallon. I think that's the best we've ever registered. And the only thing we're doing different is about a year and a half ago, we started adding the
900 feet. Turn left on 102nd
the
Street
360
Northwest.
protection
Recalculated. Turn left on 98th
into
Street Northwest. Then take right.
the fuel every time we stop. You've seen that I keep 20 bottles in the motorhome whenever I'm ready to leave. We've used 3 bottles. It's 1 ounce per 5 gallons.
Take right to
We've used 3, or was it 4 bottles on the trip so far. And then when I get to where I'm going, I'll replace whatever we used. I'll rotate the old stuff to the front box and put the new stuff in the back. And I run it through the generator. And then the only other thing I do is when we're parked is about every 6 weeks, I unplug the camper, I crank the motor, and I crank the generator. I let the gas engine on the motorhome run for about 20 minutes to get fresh gas through. And I let the generator run for about an hour under load. I will turn on the air conditioners, run the microwave, or when I'll turn on the fireplace, the electric fireplace, something that creates a load. And I'll do that, and that keeps that fresh gas. And then we normally sit for anywhere from 4 to 6 months at our jobs. And doing that with fresh gas and the Stay Bill 360 protection, we've had no problems. And at one point we were getting like 5.9. Then I noticed as we were going from Minnesota to Yellowstone, it was a lot of mountainous, we got 6.2, 6.3, but now we're headed back down to flat USA, coming out of the mountains, and we're at 7.29. I'm curious to see if it'll even go up more, and that's with me being in tow haul mode. I wish this little car would decide what it wanted to do, but we drive in tow haul mode because we're pulling a 3,000 pound Jeep or whatever it is behind us, and I set the cruise control on 62. Well, I'll bring you back in when there's something to see.
Well, we're fixing to go through Albuquerque, so it'll be interesting to see if Albuquerque's one of those states that you don't want to...
Cities,
thank you.
yeah.
That you don't want to go through, or you want to go around.
Right, so we're going to go through Albuquerque. Cindy's found a rest area on the All Stays app that's about 50 miles on the other side of Albuquerque. So we'll go there and we'll stop for lunch, and we'll bring you back in if anything interesting happens. The traffic is a little thicker here in Albuquerque, but if you've driven through Atlanta between 3 in the afternoon and 7 in the evening, then this is really nothing. We're in a major city, so of course the roads are much nicer, and there's not much to report. It's more interstate. That's been a lot easier 50 miles since we left the gas station. We're going to pull off here at this rest area. We were hoping, we saw a fancy rest area on the other side of Albuquerque. This looks like just your regular old roadside rest area, but we're going to pull off here and have some lunch. And I'm going to say that east of Albuquerque, New Mexico has been very pleasant. It's been there's more grasses, there's less trash, the roads are better. So I don't know what the difference is.
Oh, wow.
Now this rest area
Recalculating.
looks like you just pull up on the curb. It says truck parking right here.
Yeah, but that said...
Here's some regular parking over here. Oh look, they got a food truck.
Huh.
Oh, rest area food truck.
Oh, wow, they've got a dog walk.
Well, it looks like a cattle pen.
It does. We're going to have to check this place out.
All right, we are done with Interstate 40. We are getting off here at exit 218, Highway 285 towards Santa Fe. Now, Cindy's looked at the map, and she believes that with a good tailwind, we can make Texas today, which will make life a lot easier. Now, up here it said somewhere also, maybe this used to be part of Route 66. If anybody knows, you can leave it in the comments. But I got my fingers crossed here. Fingers crossed this is a good road. Because we've seen our share of not so good. I'm sorry, I'm looking for traffic to merge. We've seen our share of not so good road However, there doesn't look like there's much on this road, that it's pretty much just tumbleweeds and
So you get to each of the small towns, and then there's a little something.
yeah. So if we see anything interesting, we'll bring you back in. Compared to the other roads in New Mexico, 285 is relatively smooth. Looks like more road work ahead. Now, one thing that we have seen, but they've been in the distance, so we couldn't video it, is I did not realize that New Mexico was pronghorn territory. We saw a lot of pronghorns in Minnesota, in Montana, especially up around Glacier and Polson and that area. I never would have thought they'd be down here in this desert
South Dakota too.
climate. South Dakota we saw pronghorn, so not able to get any pictures, but I would encourage you to go online and look up pronghorns. They're beautiful animals. I think they're the deer family, and they're really cool. So the only thing we got out here is we're racing this train over here. Other than that, it's just flat, open land. And this part of New Mexico is much prettier.
Yeah.
We'll be back if we see anything. If not, no one else will be back in. Looks like there's a gunfight taking place up here. Nope.
They're just pointing at each other.
They just pointing at each other. That's in the middle of nowhere on Highway 285.
Did you get it?
I got it. Of course I got it. That was weird.
One cowboy on one side of the road, one on the other. Okay, we don't want Alec to do this while he's driving. I just had to find out what the two cowboy thing was on the side of the road. Said this is a roadside standoff. Ranchers Mark and Mike Marley loom 18 feet high on either side of US 285. One points an accusatory finger at the other, who has adopted a "what me" stance. I've always wanted to be larger than life, Mike says, and now I am. Cowboy Ruckus was dreamed up by artist John.
Come on, use your words.
I can't read. John Cerny, while he drove around. Lord, I got y'all cockeyed.
Two things at once. It's tough.
Cowboy Ruckus was dreamed up by artist John Cerny while he drove around his hometown of Salinas, California.
We've been there.
We've been there. Okay, so that's the story behind the roadside attraction.
All right, we had to make another gas stop. It's been a long, slow, boring day. We stopped at the Phillips 66 in Carlsbad, New Mexico. We're gonna make Texas tonight. Paid $3.39 a gallon, another $130. I'm gonna go inside and see how many miles a gallon we're getting. I think we're getting better. All right, I did the mileage. 7.33 miles to the gallon. I hope that's the new normal. That sure beats 6.4. The 90-gallon tank, that's gonna give me about 87 additional miles per tank. I can take that. Well, I just told y'all I was gonna make Texas tonight. Cindy and I talked. Jeez, Marie. Cindy and I just talked, and she's ready to get off the road. I'm really ready to get off the road. And she said there's a Walmart right up here in Carlsbad that gets good reviews, so we're going to get a good night's sleep. It's going to leave us 386 miles tomorrow to get to the Kerrville KOA. So that's what we're going to do. I think we drove over 400 miles. Let me get parked and I'll come back to you and give you the stats for the day. Well, the end of day number 4 is over. 421 miles for the day. I think we've got 386 tomorrow to get to Kerrville. We're going to try to leave a little bit earlier tomorrow. We left at 9:20, I think, this morning. We're at you can see the Walmart there in the background, right there. We're at the Walmart in Carlsbad, New Mexico. We tried to make it. Cindy said that to get into Texas and to find a decent place to boondock, it was going to be another 100 miles. And I'll tell you, I usually drive under 300, so I'm pretty tired. And it was boring today. So we're going to call it a night. The sun's going down. Brought you over here so you could hear. It is 84 degrees, which is a lot hotter than it was in Yellowstone. Last night we ran the heater. Last night the generator ran for 2.5 hours, which means the gas mileage is even better. 2.5 hours, because we ran the heater, and blower uses a lot of electricity, I guess, and it kept running the battery down. Well, it made it till 5 o'clock in the morning. Then it automatically runs for an hour and a half. So it ran for an hour and a half at 6:30. At 7:30 I got up. Coffee maker takes way too much energy to run. It'd run the batteries down too fast. So I cranked the generator up and I let it run for an hour while I drank coffee and kept it warm. But you can hear the generator's running tonight. Hopefully we don't have to run it all night, because it is it's about 6:30 right now, and we're going to try to leave here at 8:30. So if we ran the generator the whole time, we'll run for like 14 hours. I think it uses a gallon of gas an hour, or 0.8 gallons an hour. So that's going to run, let's say, 10 gallons of gas. So, yeah, that's 70 miles we could drive. So it's supposed to cool down into the 60s tonight. So hopefully by about 10 or so, I can open some windows and turn the generator off. It's just too hot in there now. When I stopped, we went into Walmart to talk to the manager to see where they wanted us to park and make sure it was okay. They said to park over there by the Murphy's Oil, which is what we did. That's where they said they prefer people to park, but there are 2 motorhomes and a travel trailer on the other side over by Cato's and Verizon, and they said they prefer them not to park over there because it's too congested. So we're good for the night. Leave by, man, it'd be nice to leave at 8 if I can get Cindy out of bed. Anyway, there is no internet here. I'm at the Verizon stores in the parking lot. I've got Verizon, but Verizon doesn't work. So I can't work on any of the videos tonight. I wanted to edit and render day 3 and put day 4 into the software. We're going to be 2 or 3 days in Kerrville. They've got good internet there, or at my sister-in-law's house. So I'll get it all done there. We're already a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ahead. But tomorrow's Fat to Fit. I'm going to have to film it and wait till we get down the road. It may be after lunch before it gets posted. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe. If you want to help us out with our gas bill, check the Amazon link down below. I think I'm going to put that the gas treatment, the stay bill there, in case y'all are interested in that. And I misspoke earlier. I said I normally carry 20 of those. I carried 12. 2 boxes of 6. Y'all be safe. I'll see you tomorrow.